Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Tim. I co-founded a fish farm hub here in Uganda, although at the moment we're actually at the black soldier fly facility, the BSF. We're going to have a quick look at the bays today and just see, the whole purpose of this is to get maggots to feed fish because they're high in protein. So what do we need to do in the mornings as we start our process? We are collecting the pre-pupa at the moment, so you can see they're all here. And look, here they go into the bay, and then they're going to be weighed. So it's part of the Mubarak's first job in the morning is to collect the eggs. How many eggs did we get this morning, Mubarak?
17.59.
17.59 grams of eggs, which is fantastic. And then your second job now is you're collecting the pre-pupa and you'll start weighing them. And then we're going to turn the bays in a moment. This is our dedicated pre-pupa bay. So what we're trying to do here is just get mostly pre-pupa for the next generation. So Mubarak was saying he doesn't actually turn it as vigorously because you don't want to turn the pupa at the top and stick them at the bottom. So if you manage to get scooped underneath, took it all out, the ones that top layer would end up getting buried. So what he does is he just sort of aerates it slightly at the top, so you're not disturbing them too much, but you're giving them a bit of aeration and you allow them to carry on and come up here without damaging them too much. So that's sort of a different way of turning it. If you're going to use one of these bays specifically for pre-pupa, then you need to be a bit more gentle with them because they're less mobile when they're from turning to maggots moving around quite a lot. The pre-pupa are sort of harder shells, so they're more lethargic. They don't look a bit more dormant. They're not going to move around. So if you bury them, they'll find it harder to turn into flies. And actually what would happen is you would just leave it and eventually get flies inside the bay because they wouldn't bother climbing up. Now because we have chicken waste in here which has got ammonia in it, there's a powerful ammonic smell that comes up. Mubarak was saying sometimes he has to wear a mask because it's quite potent, makes your eyes sting.
We don't usually wear them.
So you're doing this, and then we have our 6 bays down here. And currently, you can see Andrew's. Are you collecting for the farm? Yeah. So Andrew at the moment is collecting the maggots for the farm. So he's going to put them into a bucket like this, and then they will all go down away from the light. So he's just sort of trying to concentrate them so we can collect them. Because remember, what we're doing in these BSF is they're high in protein, so we're feeding them to our fish because it's a very cheap feed solution. We reduce on waste. This is all waste that would just rot away, and we get to feed our fish. So he's collecting maggots for the farm. We've done the pre-pupa. We have 3 bays at the moment which are giving us pre-pupa, and then we have 3 other bays at the moment which are just maggots, and so we're just going to turn them whilst they are getting ready. So this is the turning of this one. So we've been collecting pre-pupa. So these maggots are actually quite dormant. You'll notice they're not moving around very much. That's because they're close to turning into pre-pupa.
So we tend to use this one so that we don't have a lot of them like that.
Yeah.
If
Now,
we're using a spade, we do like
this is the other bay that will be turned. The advantage of these bays, by the way, in case of buckets, is it's actually quite manually, but it's less work because you can, using a little fork, you can sort of do that fairly quickly. Whereas if you had a basin, you got less. You've got a little hand scoop, takes a while. So if you're going to try and do this, remember we're not trying to get thousands and thousands of kilos of maggots. We want tens of maggots, maybe 10, 20 a day, something like that. This sort of setup works quite well for you because you don't need a huge amount of investment and you can do it. If you need less than that, like a kilo or something, then you might use some of these buckets. Anything bigger than this, if you need more than tens of kilos and you want to go hundreds of kilos or thousands of kilos, you need a different setup. But this works for us, and I think works for the context in which we are in smallholder farming. We have these covers as well. We're actually redesigning them because we can see they've got holes in them, but these are to stop rodents getting in overnight, but we need to improve on them. This is the last bay to be turned, and then that's the daily activities done. Yeah, but look at that. That's a good amount of maggots in there.
So here we shall add in
More substrate
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause you can see that it starts to get all digested, and there's less of for maggots to eat. There's a bit there. Look, that's uneaten at the bottom, and here. But then, you know, a few carrot tops, and you can see them starting to move around more than the other bays. But you're just adding a bit of oxygen in, mixing the food so they can access it a bit easier. And then you have any. Remember, we've collected any pre-pupa, but you have any that climb up the slope. And that's the base. Which, I mean, this is the whole purpose of it. Is, you know, the maggots. That's what we're trying to feed to our fish, but you can do it to chickens and other animals. So Andrew's just collected some more substrate for them to eat. So this is just some rotten jackfruit. We just sort of tear it up into little chunks, stick it on top, and they'll eat it up. Happy days. He's not adding a huge amount today, so just a little bit of. We're not going to run the hammer mill, which normally that's what we would do, just to get it all nicely digested. But that's how you feed your maggots. Just any waste, keep them topped up, get them nice and fat. There's a rotten banana there, and we'll come back and this will be gone. So I think that gives you a clear indication of what we do. See, we're just carrying on with the activities of the day, just making sure the maggots are all fed, been turned, and then we leave them, and then we'll come tomorrow in the morning, collect the pre-pupa, and make sure we have those ready, and feed the maggots we need, collect some maggots to feed to our animals, and that's it. That's the whole process. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.